Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode number 15, Old Rumors Die Hard. So we start out with Ray and Karen. They're going to the golf course. Giselle and her girls are talking about going to college. Ashley meets up with King Molasses, the drag king.
So that was a woman dressed as a man, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, she has been watching him on Instagram. He asked her what made her want to become a drag king, because she wants to be a drag king. She said, well, she's hosted many drag shows and she loves the creative aspects of it. And she's getting into her masculine energy. Okay. She's invited all the ladies and her friends and her family and her new boo to come watch her perform. And her character's name is ASHTOP. So ASHTOP is the top part. It stands for ton of pussy. I was like,
okay. I didn't hear that explanation.
I wrote down ASHTOP and I was like, what the heck is ASHTOP? And then towards the end, she says something like ton of pussy. I was like, oh.
Okay. You got a lot of it? What does that mean?
I don't even
bigger
know.
Than the average?
I don't know what that means, but that's what it is. That's what her drag king name is, ASHTOP.
Like she could have come up with something better, but you know what? I'm here for Ashley's creative outlet. I support it with that. I'd go see her in her drag king show.
Go see her too, because you know what? She does like to have fun.
She does.
She thinks she's entertaining. I mean, sure, she is entertaining. I don't know. They do show a lot of clips, though, of her prior entertaining.
So shady.
It's just doesn't. Yeah, it's not great.
And they made sure they kept the clip in there. Wendy going, where is the auto-tune? That was shady.
Then Giselle goes to meet up at Kiarna, and she goes to her K. Stewart beauty salon.
So nice.
So nice. Giselle asks her if she's going to change the name when she gets married, and she says that Greg would not marry anyone who would want a hyphenated name. And Giselle's like, well, how do you feel about that? And she's like, well, it's okay. Like, this is going to be my professional, Kiarna Stewart, K. Stewart. This is my professional. And then my married name will be my married name. It's all right. And if she's okay with it.
Yeah, as long as she's okay with it. Like, I think that's the way to handle it. When my sister was getting married, she and her husband were already in their fields, and she didn't want to change her name because she was already in the field and people knew her. But she did wind up doing it. So, because he felt a way about it. And that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay.
But if you have a business with your name on it, I understand what she's saying.
Yeah, why change it? Everyone knows it. K. Stewart, like that's her, her business.
Yeah, and legally she could change her name and,
right.
Still keep the business that way.
And then Wendy shows up and she has a flat tire. I thought it was weird that they showed this whole scene where she calls for service and the guy's like, well, your membership expired. And she's like, expired? Like, what's that? What do you mean, what is that? He's like, well, I can renew it now.
You didn't set up auto pay for your triple.
Right. I thought that was weird. And I thought it was even weirder yet when he gets there and says he's outside and says, okay, love.
Yeah.
I mean, am I missing something here?
I mean, I thought that was a bold move on his part.
He had to know that he was on camera. I mean, He had to know that they were filming this.
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's stupid. It was just stupid.
Yeah.
Then they start talking about Karen, and Giselle is saying that she's really concerned about Karen, that she's not eating, and Wendy's agreeing that, and Wendy has always been like on Karen's side.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Kiarna's like, what do you like? She takes Ozempic. What are you talking about? And they're like, what? No, she wouldn't. And then she's like, no, she said she's pre-diabetic. Like she takes Ozempic. Well, both of them are floored. Both Giselle and Wendy.
Did you understand why they were? I mean, I understand like they were worried about her. But
yes.
Why? Like, I don't think
that's why they were floored. That's why they were floored, because they were worried.
It's a big deal that Karen's on Ozempic. I mean, I don't think she's on it because she's pre-diabetic. I think she wanted to lose weight. But who cares? Every housewife is on it.
No, I think that they were floored because they were worried about her.
They were worried.
And They had expressed concern to her prior to this. So, she's like, well, I'm not eating. Okay.
But she didn't say why.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
listen, I'm sure Karen is nervous too. I'm sure that's got something to do with it. I'm sure she's not only not eating because of the Ozempic.
Well, the interesting thing about this whole scene that reminded me of when we had this conversation about Teresa, and it's one of our clips that gets a lot of feedback. When I said, there's no way she's on Ozempic, I think she's lost a lot of weight because she's stressed out. And you were insisting it was Ozempic. And it's just interesting to me that this exact same conversation comes up about another Housewives franchise.
Right.
And everyone has very strong opinions about it. So I'm sure when this clip comes up, it's going to be the same thing. People are going to be like, for whatever reason, certain things people have strong opinions about.
Yeah. I don't know why these women don't just admit it, though. But whatever. I mean, Karen admitted to Kiarna.
Right, exactly. She did admit it to Kiarna, but then, we'll get there. Then we see Ray meets up with Gordon for lunch.
So this gives Gordon an opportunity to respond to the bullshit that Mia's been spreading all over the season.
It sure puts Gordon in a totally different light.
And he seemed very cognizant. He seemed very, together, not erratic.
Right. That's exactly how I thought it was.
Yep.
He talks a little bit about his gout. He asks Ray how, Karen's making out, with the DUI and the accident. He didn't say DUI. And Ray says, well, the good news is that she's not injured and nobody else was injured. And Karen, thinks she's going to be exonerated, which is so interesting to watch since we now know what's happened. Gordon says that he has the kids 25 out of 30 days in June.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ray asked him about taking the kids while they were away in Panama. And Gordon said that, there were decisions that were made that I didn't agree with. And basically, he did what he thought was right because he thought that Inc. was going to have access to them. And he didn't want that to happen.
And I don't blame him. Like, listen, that's their father.
Right.
If their mother's not around, they shouldn't be with Inc.
Right.
He's not their father. He's not their parent. He's not their guardian. He's not their anything.
Right.
He's their mother's boyfriend.
Right. Which Ashley said on Watch What Happens Live that they are not broken up. That's where I heard it. Ashley said that Inc. and Mia are not broken up. Even though that's what came out, she said that is not true.
So Mia's still talking.
Lying. That's what she does. She lies.
Yeah.
Then we find out that he went and had the paternity test done and that he is Jeremiah's dad.
And Mia's known for weeks.
Yes. And I thought it was interesting what Ray said, that when Karen was pregnant with Raymond, she was saying there are blue and gray eyes in her family.
Was it? No, not her son. When she was pregnant with, because her son is from her first marriage, when she was pregnant with Raven. Is that what you said?
It was Raven.
Raven, her daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because her son is not raised. I believe he helped raise him, obviously, but...
Okay, so it was Raven. Okay, so when she was pregnant with Raven, she was saying that there's blue and green eyes in her family. And Ray said, oh, no, don't be saying that. And then they cut to the scene in the reunion where Karen's accused of dating Mr. Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes.
So I thought that was very interesting.
We need to find out what color eyes Raven has.
I don't think she has blue eyes. I think we would have noticed that.
Yeah.
And then Gordon talks about that he suggested that him and Mia do post-marital counseling. That, the divorce is kind of on hold, that they're, try and work out the co-parenting thing and, see how to make this work. Unless one of
them really is interested in getting remarried.
Right.
Why get divorced? Everyone's different in what they want in that situation.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Everyone is different.
It might just work better for them financially to stay married legally until the situation changes.
Right. Then we see Stacy meets up with an attorney about her divorce. She wants to make sure that she's making the right decisions. And the attorney asks her, what is it that, what are the main things that you want? And she said, well, she wants Arabella during the school year and he can have her during the summer. And then she says she's agreed to waive her right to child support, which I thought that was odd.
Well, if she's going to have main custody of her throughout the school year, what's he paying child support for? You know what I mean? Oh, no, then he would. Yeah, then he would pay child support. Oh, but then she goes on to say that he pays for everything anyway.
Right. So, and then she asks, did you have a prenup? And she says no. And then she said, well, do you guys make about the same? And she said no. He is very successful and makes substantially more than I do. So she said she's going to go forward with requesting alimony. And the lawyer, points it out like, well, why are you going to go for alimony and not child support? And, she says, well, because he pays for everything for Arabella, everything that she needs. And there's no way that he wouldn't. And the attorney says, just because it's that way now doesn't mean it will be that way in the future. These are the things that you want to have in writing in place.
In writing.
Right. And then Stacy asked the attorney, like, how many women have come to you after and sat here and said things to you that I said and then came back to you and asked you to fix things for them? And she said, well, if I had $5 for each of them, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be on a beach somewhere. And she seemed shocked. And she's still maintaining that she's not going to ask for child support, which is clearly not the right move.
It's not the right move.
You're not protecting her. You're going to protect yourself and get yourself alimony in writing, then protect her.
Right.
And get child support in writing too.
Right.
And get the custody in writing too. Get it all in writing.
It would anyway, even in mediation. Like, they're not going to be like all willy-nilly about it. Like, there's a divorce decree that has to get filed. So those things have to get ironed out. But yes, I think she probably went on camera and had this conversation. So her, because maybe her ex-husband was like, listen, I'm going to take care of her. And I'm sure he will. But people meet other people and fall in love. And he might go on to have another family. And, things change.
Well, that's what the attorney was saying.
Yeah, like it's best to get everything in writing.
Yeah, yeah. Then we see Giselle is shopping with two of her daughters for some school stuff. And she lets them know that she is purchasing an investment house near where Adore goes to school so that one, she has a place to see when they visit, but she wants the girls to know about money and she's trying to get them set up so that they will have things, they'll have things. And the other daughter says, well, what about me? And then they start talking about the Christmas tree. And we find out that after, she's been divorced for a long time, but after she got divorced, she had this tradition with her dad. Her dad would come with her and the girls, and they'd always pick out the Christmas tree together, and they'd always do that together.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the thing that they do. And that's going to be the thing that's going to, help them remember their grandfather and, just bond them together. I think that that's nice. I think that, like I keep saying this, I think Giselle is an awesome mom.
Absolutely.
I think her daughters are amazing. And you know what? I wish them all well. I really do.
Me too.
I do.
I hope she's successful in court with her father's will, because that's a damn sin, what she's going through.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Terrible.
And then we see Stacy and TJ, they go out to eat. And TJ's saying like they don't really do anything. And he asks, why do you think that is? And Stacy says, well, because I'm not divorced yet.
Yeah, she's still married.
So then she said when she got back from Panama, she really had a conversation with her soon-to-be ex, and he's going to be moving out, which I think that's good.
Yes.
I think that's good.
I mean, I would imagine now they have to be honest with her daughter.
Right. And so TJ is like, oh, does that mean like I can now come to the house? No. TJ, no, it doesn't. No.
It most certainly does not.
He's like, I feel like you're hiding me. And then Stacy says, well, what do you need for me to feel good about us? And he's like, well, I want you to tell your friends and your ex-husband that we're dating. Why?
Yeah, because this could heavily affect her moving forward with the divorce proceedings. Like if maybe her ex-husband, I mean, she's filming with this guy. So now, I don't know if her divorce is final, but now her husband's seeing that she's dating somebody, which again is so foolish. Like, she should have came on the show by herself.
Yeah.
Because what
I
if
don't
this
know.
pisses her ex-husband off and he's like, oh, no, I'm not giving you alimony. You stepped out on the marriage.
Right. Or maybe, maybe he sees that what we see about this guy, TJ, and it's like, I don't want Arabella around him.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would be afraid of, too.
Yeah.
So Stacy said, if I do that, like, that will make you feel what? And he's like, well, it signifies like a change, in your life. And she's like, yeah, but it makes me look like the life that I'm leaving now. Like, and I don't want to feel that. Like, I'm sad about that. I don't want to do that. Like,
you can tell she's not 100% comfortable with the divorce. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't her idea. Maybe she recognizes that a change needed to be made, but that change is scary.
Well, we don't even know whose idea it was.
We have no idea.
We don't know whose idea it was.
Hopefully she's back next season without TJ and we get more of the story.
I would like to see that. I really would.
Yeah.
So then TJ starts to get emotional and says, I don't want you to think that I'm pressuring you. Like, I have to realize that you have a lot to go through. And I want you to know that you're not going to be alone and I'll be here for you. Well, she makes a very valid. He's never been married before. He has no children. He has no idea.
Right. It's only been him. He's only had to be concerned with him, which is okay.
Right.
But try to see it from her perspective, where she does have a daughter to be concerned with. Leaving a marriage after 16 years cannot be easy, whether it's your choice or not. It can't be easy.
Exactly. Speaking of leaving a marriage, I don't know if you listened to the latest podcast that Teddy did with Tamra. Was it with Tamra or was it with Erica?
I didn't listen either way.
Might have been with Erica. I've actually started listening to them again a little bit. I think it was maybe with Erica. I do like the Erica ones better.
I do too.
Anyway, she was saying that she's like rethinking.
I think they're totally going to try to work things out.
She's rethinking what she's done. She's rethinking the divorce. She's very lonely. They were talking to a therapist. It was Erica. They had a therapist on, and Teddy was talking about how, she's talked to her therapist about this. Oh, it wasn't a therapist. You know who it was? Oh, this is so good. I can't believe I'm not remembering this. So the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, his wife in real life, she is a therapist in California.
I didn't know that.
I think in California. So after, after he got arrested and all that happened, she got divorced. She went back to school and she got her like master's in psychology. And then she ended up, I think, getting her like PhD. And I believe she wrote a book herself. And she was talking. It was a very good interview. She was talking about, like Teddy and her were talking, and Teddy's like, listen, I talked to my therapist. And she's like, that's a very real thing to be lonely. Like, that's okay. You're separated. And Erica's like, yeah, I was lonely too. So she is rethinking it. So I thought that
I hope she doesn't just go back to him though, because she's lonely. Like, is she just that type of person that can't be alone? You have to be able to be alone.
No, I think it's just the whole thing with the nesting and not being with her children. I can't imagine, especially with her children are so young.
Yeah. He stepped out before. She's been honest about that and they worked it out. So listen, I would like to see them stay together. I always like them as a couple. Hopefully they can work it out. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I hope they work it out too. I do too. Go back to Potomac. Sorry, I go off like that sometimes.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't listen to it. I will listen to it. How amazing for that woman, though, to go back and get her master's degree after what she went through. God bless.
Yeah. And she's been remarried for many years now, and she's very happy. Yeah.
Good for her.
Then we see Karen's getting ready to leave to go to the Drag King show, and she's outside talking to Ray, and he's, they're trying to figure out her outfit. And
he says, why are you wearing so many short stuff lately? And she said, it's my mating call.
Yeah. She's so funny.
Ray's like, I don't give a shit. You can wink at me. That could be your mating call.
Ray's such a good guy.
Love him. I love scenes with Ray. I always have.
I know. So then he starts telling her about his lunch with Gordon. Karen says that Mia said she had full custody, and Ray's like, I don't think so, because, Gordon had the kids 25 out of 30 days in June, and unless the judge did something. And then all about the paternity test, she goes on to tell Karen. So the ladies then arrive at Shakers for the drag show, and Kiarna's there first with Giselle and Wendy, and she's telling them that her and Greg, are having a little bit of growing pains just moving in together. And, she's had a tough day. And Wendy asks her, like, do you think being part of this group is affected the relationship? And she says yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell he's just,
Yeah.
that immediate question that he asked, like, for all these divorces because of the show. I mean, he broke the fourth wall.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah.
He's nervous.
Yeah, which I get.
Sure.
And she was assaulted on the show. So, like, there's that too.
That too. You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
So then Karen shows up, and Giselle is telling Karen that she's been concerned about her body and her not sleeping and her losing weight. And Giselle says, Kay told me that you're on Ozempic. And Karen's like, well, no, I'm not.
She said, no, I'm not?
Yeah, she said, no, I'm not. And then Kiarna said, well, she said, I'm on a semaglutide. Karen says, I'm on a semaglutide. And Kiarna said, well, a semaglutide is the ingredient that's in Ozempic.
She pulled a Margaret Joseph. That's what
Yes.
Margaret Joseph used to say.
Yes. And then, she said, well, people in her family are diabetic and she's pre-diabetic. So then she admitted, to it. Then Jacqueline and Mia arrive.
Well, first Wendy comes in and they asked her, like, you're not really in touch with your manly side. And she said, I came as what every man wants, a hot piece of ass.
That's true. That is true.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And then Mia and Jacqueline come in. One has got a black cat suit on. The other one has a red cat suit on, neither of which are
masculine.
Then Karen asks to speak to Giselle privately. And first she says, thanks for, addressing that. She didn't mean thanks for addressing that. She just wanted to let her know what was going on with Mia. Then she tells her what's going on with Mia, that she heard from Ray. So Giselle's like, I'm going to go over there right now. So she goes over there to me and says, you've been lying to us the whole time. And Mia said, about what? Giselle says everything. The divorce. Gordon says the divorce is on pause. Mia said, Gordon's word is more important than mine. And then Wendy says, maybe we should go outside. And Giselle's like, well, you're a known liar. I like that Wendy moved it outside.
Yeah, because instead of Mia sitting there listening, as soon as they got outside, she started verbally attacking Karen.
Yeah. But again, inside is not the place to be having this conversation.
No, absolutely not. Not at your friend's show.
Right. At a small venue.
Right.
So yeah, the ladies go outside. They start yelling. Karen and Mia, Karen said Mia watched her kid for 5 days, because she goes on to say that, Gordon had them 25 and Mia had them 5.
Right.
And that he had them the rest of the month. Is that true? Mia said lies. G told Ray that he was his son, that he had a paternity test, and you knew about it, and you've known for quite some time. And they just start yelling back and forth at each other.
Right. That's when Mia lost her shit on Karen.
Yes.
And started saying, bringing up the DUI and bringing up her cheating. And Giselle says, okay, great. She got a DUI. We know that. Move on. Okay, great. You're saying she stepped out? We all know that too. Giselle said that.
Yeah.
Like, basically, we all know Karen cheated on Ray.
Right.
So.
Yep. But she was trying to move it along.
For sure. But when she said that in her
along.
confessional, I was like, this should come up at the reunion.
Well, we know it can't come up at the reunion because Karen's
not there.
And she resigned.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not. Like, we haven't seen that.
I don't know if it is either, because somebody put it on Facebook and I went immediately and checked her Instagram page.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
See it. So the girl who put it on, so I said, is this really true? It's not on her Instagram page. And the girl who posted it said she took it down. And then somebody else answered and said, that wasn't Karen Huger's page. That was the Karen Huger parody page that put that up and took it down. So it wasn't even on, from what I understand.
So it wasn't true.
I don't think it's true. I don't,
Right.
I mean, I don't doubt she probably will resign.
Well, she may be fired.
Right. But I don't think that post that was out there was true.
Okay. Yeah, so we know that she didn't go to the reunion, that she entered rehab. That statement was put out there, official, right?
Yeah.
And we know that the timing was she went the day of the reunion or the day before the reunion. And her sentencing is in about a week or so.
Which will happen while she's in rehab.
Well,
unless they get an adjournment.
Remember I said there's no reason to an adjourn?
Right.
This is the reason. This is the reason to have it adjourned. Unless she does it virtually. Nah. I would, no.
Yeah, she could definitely do it virtually.
Yeah, she could. This is going to be interesting. We'll have to wait and see.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because it's very rare to have adjournment for sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
But if she is in rehab, let's do it virtually.
I think they can do it virtually, but we'll see.
Well, we will see what happens. Also, the Bravo docket said that they are going to discuss it once it happens.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that.
And by the way, the last time we were talking about the Bravo docket, I did not know, and you had said it. I looked it up. Tom Girardi's house was repossessed, whatever, foreclosed, whatever. The bank took it back.
Yes, for the bankruptcy.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were talking about when they said her interest is maybe they said the property, and maybe the property is something else. So that if she had to pay something back on his behalf, she would have that invested interest. I don't know. Listen, It was a long podcast. I can't go back, man.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But the house but the marital home was taken back by the bank. So
yes,
that's not what they were talking about.
Yeah, because I remember that happened a couple of years ago.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So what else? I guess that's it, right?
Yeah. Of course, during all of this, then so Giselle says, G had a paternity test, and you've known that he's the father, and you haven't said anything. And Jacqueline, of course,
jumps in.
And Giselle's like, no, this has been going on for a year. This has been questionable. Like, if you know the answer, why aren't you telling us?
Right.
So that, everything else aside, how many days because G could be lying about having the kids 25 days out of 30. Who's the hell's going to prove it? I don't think he's lying. I would say Mia's lying, but the paternity test you can't lie about.
No, that's what Jacqueline said. Jacqueline said, well, I just found out 2 days ago, and it was a home test. They're all home tests.
Are they?
They're all home tests. You put the saliva in the thing, and you send it off.
Right. Just like 23andMe and all the other bullshit. Yeah.
Yes, they're all home tests. Well, really? Come on.
Yeah. She's riding too hard for Mia. You got it, because everybody's seeing who Mia really is. I don't see anyone on social media defending Mia anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Normally you see somebody coming up for somebody.
No, I don't see her being defended at all. And you're right. As all this is going on, Ashley's coming in another door, dressed up with her hair really short and a tank top on, but she's going to get into her real drag outfit. They have her do a shot before she's going to get into her drag costume.
Yeah, when she came out in that tank top, I'm like, she can't be wearing that up on stage, right? Her
her boobs are too big.
Aren't you trying to look like a man? You got these nice perky boobs.
Yeah.
They're probably going to tape them down. But we didn't see Josh come in yet, right?
No, we didn't see Josh get there yet. So, we didn't see her perform. So next week should be good.
Yeah. Did she say on Watch What Happens Live if she's still with Josh?
Yes, she did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she was with him that day, actually. He was there with her. And yeah, they're doing well.
I wonder if Giselle ever went on a date with her guy.
Well, I don't know. Hopefully we find that out at the reunion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he'll ask.
Or maybe Giselle will be on Watch What Happens Live, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I guess that's it for Potomac.
Sure is.
Okay. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Why Whenever.
Bye.
Bye.